welcome to the Live Courageously podcast show. I'm your host, John Duffy, and this is episode 71. Live Courageously has been the conscious theme of my life for the last 3 years since the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, and it's been an unconscious theme for most of my life. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not the absence of fear. There's something contagious about someone who is courageous. So today's show is with Robert Big Sarge Deon. Robert is a multi-talented individual. He's not only served his country with honor and dedication, and as a retired disabled Army war veteran, but has also made significant contributions to the world of entertainment as an actor, a director, and a producer. Robert is a U.S. Army retired senior leader with 24 years of honorable service and a war veteran. He was born in Jackson, Tennessee, and raised in Henderson, Simple City, Tennessee. His father is a minister and his mother an account executive for ABC News. His remarkable journey is a testament to his resilience, his passion, his unwavering commitment to both his art and his fellow veterans. After leaving the military, Robert quickly transitioned into the world of entertainment, where he discovered a new calling. His innate talent for acting quickly became apparent, and he honed his skills through formal training and dedication. He's a great asset to many military advisors on films, and his own screen presence sends a believable character. Robert states that acting is my passion, and I love to deliver the best performance anytime that I'm given an opportunity to showcase my abilities. I'm a passionate student of the arts and firmly believe there's always goals to achieve and higher levels of growth and knowledge to learn from. I love the industry, and one of my favorite aspects of acting is the ability to bring a character to life from its earliest stages of conception to the finished on-screen product. I credit my work ethic and drive to my strong upbringing and my honorable military service. Well, with that, let's welcome Robert Big Sarge Deon to the stage. Welcome, brother. Thank you for joining us today, and happy Easter. Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Okay,
yes.
happy Resurrection Day. Sorry about that.
No worries. Well, thank you for joining us, man. And thanks for joining Live Courageously. I always usually start out with two questions. And first, I'm going to throw up a picture of you. I think this is from your early days, man, when you were much younger. But that was in your time in the military. But I always start out with two questions for people I know. And the first one is, how did we meet? If you remember how we met. When was that?
Oh, that was too easy to remember. Too easy to remember. Army versus Navy game. You know, go Army all the way. There's no doubt about it. That's why I met the wonderful and outstanding Mr. Duffy himself, and we hit it off right well as military people do and military supporters do, and I haven't looked back since, man. I can never forget that day.
Well, and we also had a celebrity there who was also there with us.
Oh, yeah. I got threatened by this guy. I got threatened by him.
Well, people say I look like him, or I say he looks like me. I don't know. You know, it's either one. So.
Oh, yes. Y'all can be brothers.
Yes. But he's a little older than me, or a lot older than me. But, hey, that's a different topic. But, you know, that's the first thing. And, yeah, that was a great day. We had a great time. It was a pleasure meeting you, and obviously go Army, right? So my dad was in the Army. I'm a civilian supporter, but he fought in the Philippines. So, you know, I got that allegiance for the Army. The second question I like to ask, and you've had a courageous life in many levels, is what does live courageously mean to you? How do you see that, that concept?
Live courageously. That's why I love hearing that. Live courageously means, to me, do not live in your comfort zone. If you're living uncomfortable, you're living outside the box, you're willing to take risk, you will always succeed, especially if you take a risk on yourself. And that's what it's all about. Live courageously is looking past your fears. What's on the other side of your fears is your blessing. It took me a while when I was younger to understand that. But once I got that concept down, it has never failed me, especially with strong spiritual-based faith. And believe in my upper Lord, my Lord and Savior, and I'm just being very blunt about that. Live courageously means I fear no man but God himself. So with that being said, don't talk about it, be about it. So you got to be out there and live courageously in anything and everything you do, because others are watching you. Others are watching you and see how you're carrying yourself. So that's what it means to me.
Well, I know, and we'll get more into it. I always see you're, on social media, and you always you're about it. You don't just talk about it, but you're about doing it, and you always share that on social media and your faith and your principles, and they come across real strong, and they're always uplifting and powerful. But let's go back. Let's go back to when you were young. You grew up in Tennessee, small town, I would imagine. Tell us a little bit about your history that took you from that and your parents and took you into the military, and that helped shape who you are today as Big Sarge.
Well, I'm glad I always talk about that because that's who laid my foundation for my life. Besides, my spiritual side, that's what laid my foundation is my family. I grew up in a small town. I grew up in a small town we call Simple City, Tennessee. Not because of simple-minded people, but a simple way of life. Right? It's a calm, cool, relaxed way of life. People know each other's name. They know what's going on in the city at all times, and you can you can break down the side of the road and help about 3 or 4 people stop and give you help, even today in 2024. So that's the type of town I grew up in. It's a small town between Nashville and Memphis, and next to Jackson, Tennessee, on Interstate 40. It's real small. Population maybe like 10,000 people, 13,000, maybe around that amount. I haven't done a population check in a long time, but growing up in a household where my father is a Marine veteran. Not only a Marine veteran, he is a minister. He's been a minister well over 55 years. His foundation was always God, family, and your loved ones. So he always instilled that in us no matter what. He always instilled it to us as far as men is concerned. To be a man is to take care of your family, be the provider and the protector, no matter what. I was raised old school. Matter of fact, I'll be 50 this year. Lord knows I'm happy about that. But to be a provider and protector. My mother is as we call it, is a Bible thumper, and she's an innovator. And the reason why I call her an innovator is when she started out, she was working in a factory just to make sure that she could take care of us along with my father, right? And then at the same time, she said that wasn't enough. That wasn't her. She was living in a comfort zone. So she got out of her comfort zone, and she applied for a job in Jackson, Tennessee at WBBJ TV7, which is ABC News. And she became the very first Black accountant and very first Black woman in that particular news station. And she's been there, and she's still working to this day. She started from that point to now she is the executive. So that is a big deal. So she stuck it out. She was always driven, and she drive that into us also, the love side of the house. I didn't go in there with hate. I came in there with love. So that's what. And then of course I have 2 younger brothers, Michael and Jeremy Jones. Michael is a counselor himself. He's a counselor. He's like he's out of he's top 3 counselors in the United States. That's very good for him, and that's very amazing accomplishment. He is a Dr. Michael Jones at that. Excuse me, correct that. And I have my younger brother who is a Marine veteran, and also he still works for the federal government in all protective aspects, and that's as far as I can go as far as that's concerned. And we're a very close-knit family. We always been that way.
Well, it sounds like you grew up with some powerful models for how to live your life, obviously with your parents, and it affected you and affected your siblings as well. When did you make the decision, and why did you make the decision to join the military? And tell us about your military life career. And obviously your dad was in the Marines, your brother was in the Marines, you went Army. I don't know if that caused him to give you any grief or just mess with you, but tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, luckily I was the oldest son, so I was trying to guide my brothers in different directions. But my father's is a Marine veteran, and it's just the way that he had the family structure. My father had the family structure. I really liked that structure, and it was able to, for me to concentrate on my schooling and to also be a pillar in my society at the time, up until this age right now. And the thing that led me to that, I will never forget it. I was helping my father work on a car. Right, we had the transmission drop. He had us jacked up. He had us jacked up off the ground. We had a small black and white television on top of this is literally why I made my decision. Small black and white television on top of the car. And at that time, there was a war about to start. And it was a Persian Gulf War. And I don't know what it was about seeing, my father always taught us about service the country, no matter what anybody think about you, you always serve and you always protect. When I first saw those missiles launch off of the U.S. carriers, the Tomahawk missiles, and was firing to the night sky, I said, I know where I need to be. I need to be doing the same thing. So as soon as I graduated, I mean, actually before I graduated, my junior year, I joined the Army. I told my mother and father, hey, this is what I want to do. My mother wasn't happy about it at all, of course, but that's how any mother would be, to be protective. But I told her, I said, Mother, do all due respect, I'm letting y'all know now because I know either way I go when I'm 18, I'm going to do this. So they both signed. I did join, and that's when my journey began.
And that principle that you say that, and obviously it came in your from your parents, but the thing of service, is so important. I think unfortunately, I think it's something that's too much missing nowadays in our society, that reality of how important it is to serve and what service does when you do it. And and clearly you were about service, and that's why it took you down that path. Now you went in, you started that journey in the Army, and tell us about that period of time. How long were you in the military? Where did you serve? Give us a little bit about your whole range of service in the U.S. Army.
No problem. Since it's 24 honorable years, I'm not going to give you 24 honorable years of track record.
No, you can't do all that. We don't have enough time for that.
But what I can say is, I went to Fort Lawson Wood, Missouri, was Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Lord Jesus, that name means exactly what it means. I had Vietnam veteran freaking drill sergeants, and Lord help me, that's the time they can still stuff in the locker. They can still do what they want to do before things change. And I leave it like that. And first I joined I want to say it was a mistake, but I joined the National Guard when I first started, right? When I went to basic training, when I went to job training, which is AIT, I had a sense of missing something because I knew I was going back home and everybody else was going to duty stations. So that's, to be very transparent, that's where it started from. When I got back home, I'm full gauge into being all-time, full-time military. I went to my first drill session, and I noticed one thing. I came sharp, ready, dressed, impressed, and then everybody around me wasn't the same. And that sparked a fire in me. Said, this is not where I belong. So I took 6 months, still went to college. I went to college during the time period, 6 months, and got myself into the Army Reserves. I couldn't go directly into the federal full-time Army unless I went to the reserves. Finished out my college within that year's time period, and then went active duty. Went places from like Fort Benning, Georgia, which I call my home because that's who I went to war with. Fort Benning, Georgia, 1st Brigade, 1st ID, Marine soldiers, rocking the Marine soldiers. Fort Campbell, Kentucky, Fort Knox, Kentucky. Spent a time in Germany. Absolutely loved that. Europe is absolutely a beautiful place. So I enjoyed my time in Europe, and then was able to go to 2 different duty stations and experience different things. My very first peacetime mission, I had a chance to really get to understand what we're all about, was the Bosnian War, where we had to help out, for a peacetime mission between the Serbs and the other faction. So it really, really, really brought me to terms of what this service was all about. And then that's when, of course, Iraq came around. And then that's when things started changing. We're seeing war a whole lot more. But before even that happened, when I was attached to 160th Special Operations and 5th Group Special Forces, I got to see some things that, how can I say this? I saw the other side of the military, and I knew that that's where I wanted to be. That's why I said, I'm not getting out of this, because these men are out here handling their business. I want to be just like them. And that's what made me stay in the 24 years.
And that's a long time of service, for sure. And, you have to keep up. And so I would imagine you were like in for like 4 years, and you would re-up and re-up and re-up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Different duty stations, yes.
And then, besides all that incredible service in all these different places, in war zones and in peace keeping efforts, like you said, it shaped who you are. And then at a certain point, you made a decision to leave, or you were injured, or what got you to step out and begin to recreate yourself again?
Okay. I did retire from the military, but when I was younger, I promised myself that I would not stay in the military too long, like overdo my time, and let these other young people get a chance to move up in ranks and in positions. So I knew the day that I felt like I couldn't put the uniform on completely and be just as energetic as I was the very first day I put this uniform on, it was time to retire. So so what happened was I did get injured in Iraq temporarily, and I say basically getting knocked off unconscious from an attack, and from that point having like I say 100%, I'm 100% PTSD, permanent totally disabled. So I would have flashbacks, and it was still to this day I still have them. I just know how to control it better. But that was bothering me a whole lot. I couldn't get any sleep, going to work and not feeling like I could perform to the highest. I just told myself, it's time to hang up this hat, but what am I going to do before I do this? And so that was back in 2011 when I decided to say, hey, it's time to move on. And I was in the Mississippi area, Biloxi, Mississippi, during recruiting duty, and it was 1 hour from New Orleans, and that's where I started shooting Hollywood films in New Orleans. And one of my soldiers said, Sergeant, you would be perfect to be in one of these films. I love your personality. So I tried out. It was for G.I. Joe 2 Retaliation. I can talk about it right now. And just being on set and being able to literally bump into The Rock, which is a funny story, bump into The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, the way I did and what he told me, I decided, hey, I want to do this for the rest of my life. So,
well, you ain't gonna leave us with that, not telling us that story. I want to hear that one. Right?
Okay. Oh yeah, I got to say. Okay, first of all, I am a strong man. Okay, in my mind, in my body, I'm a strong man, and mentally. So we're doing a break. We're doing catering, right? They're doing a catering service. I'm getting something to drink. As I'm getting something to drink, I did not know that Dwayne Johnson was standing right behind me. So this is basically a mountain of a man. Like he's gigantic, literally. So I get my drink, and as I turn, I bump. John, you're so wrong. His elbow hits the top of my head, not here, like at the top of my head. And I turn around and look up, and I'm like, this is not. I said, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. And he takes his hand and he puts it on my shoulder, and my whole entire shoulder disappeared. And I just told him, I don't know what possessed me to say this. I'm like, so you just not only gonna hit me, but you're gonna take my manhood like this, right? You're gonna just, I'm a man. Get your hand off me. You're bigger than me, man. He starts laughing. He thought it was funny, and I was like, listen, man, I want no problems. Literally, I want no problems, but come on, man. Come on, don't hurt. I said, don't hurt a veteran right there. And we had a laugh, and his cousin, one of his cousins, he had with him Chino, his cousin was right there, and they laughed. He looks like The Rock, but with a goatee. So we had a good laugh, and he just told me, man, you're funny, man. He said, keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm going to see you again. And from that, I just stayed in. I stayed with it with the acting side of it.
And with the acting side, I mean, like you ain't a small guy, I mean, it's not like maybe according to The Rock, we're all small guys, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's not fair, man. It's just not fair.
But this is a great picture of you right here, which I love. I don't know what is this picture from? What were you doing in this?
So this is this is actually one of the films that I directed. And it's one of the films for my company, Big Sergeant Entertainment Studios, along with my associate partner, Lima Films. And it's called Lawless Law. And I'm the lead character. And basically, I'm a criminal who's trying to win the rights of his daughter back. And he has to help go undercover to discover a larger criminal. And the only way I can get my daughter back is if I help the police, right? So I just so happened to be in the ring at that point with Arnold Schwarzenegger's stunt double. And this guy looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? And the stunt double, and I'm getting my butt just handed to me there again, until I win at the end. But yet still, it was one of those movies, man. And I enjoyed it. And ironically, I worked with The Rock's cousin. He was a stunt coordinator who body slammed me in that same I don't know what it is with me and this guy's jumping on me, man. But yeah.
Hey, well, you know, maybe it's the nickname of Big Sarge. It's like they, you know, they gotta challenge you. I don't know, man.
I'm about to cut the big out, man, because these guys are big, man.
But you know, so you obviously, when you did that film, you fell in love with the acting thing, and you
Yes,
know, and when I was talking about your bio, you know, you started studying acting, and you kind of got, so that became who you wanted to be, and you kind of created a new journey for yourself. Tell us a little bit about that and the path you went on to get both, you know, what you do as an actor today, but also, you know, we're going to talk about your directing, your producing, and your company that you built, and all the stuff that you're, you know, going to make happen because of that decisions that you made to get into this industry.
Yes. Even when I was young, I also wanted to be in acting. And that was one of the things that my father told me. He said, listen, just do your 20 years in the military. So you ever decide to go to Los Angeles, you'll never be homeless. And that was one of the best advice that he's given me. One of the many best advice he's given me. And I actually did just that. And so when I retired from the military, I had already, from 2012 to 2016, when I retired, I was already putting together, going to acting classes, learning the art of acting. Everybody thinks you just jump in front of a camera and act. No, there's an art of acting to breathe life into a character, to make that character come to life. It's almost godlike, not God, but almost godlike, to breathe life into a character on a script and make it believable. So I was infatuated with that. So that's what I started doing between 2012 to 2016. And then once I retired, I moved back to Tampa Bay, Florida, and where I used to stay for like 10 years for the military. And I noticed one thing, and it's kind of the same way. It's the same way here in LA. You got to figure it out. Like I said, it's who you know. It's almost who you know, and that could be a good thing. That can be not so good thing. There's a lot of people who move out here to Los Angeles trying to create a life, say, hey, am I worthy enough? Am I worthy enough to be on, to grace your cameras, right? Am I worthy enough to be in your film? And again, that's what we're talking about, live courageously, right? Living outside the box, live outside the comfort zone. I just told myself, hey, I'm not going to wait till nothing wrong. I'm just going to leave the Hollywood. Nothing wrong Hollywood. I'm living outside the comfort zone, and I'm living outside the box. I'm going to create my own. So besides being an actor, a SAG actor, a professional actor, I created my production company called Big Sarge Entertainment Studios, where we produce well over, I think it's over 12 to 15 films now, if not more, films between short and feature films and commercials. And then, hey, the narrative is I can create a script and film the script and put myself in it. I can put myself in my own movie. But then there you come to this traction of, hey, what's going to happen after that? Distribution companies, right? So it's still a favoritism thing. So that's why I created the Infinite Plus network, which is currently on the Roku channel, on the Roku platform, on the Apple Plus platform at the end of this month. It's on Amazon Fire TV, and we do have the Android and iPhone apps. So basically, I can act in the film, produce the film, and then put it on streaming TV, and all in once. And that concept, soon, hopefully, people will catch on. They do it through social media, which is nothing wrong with that at all. But the concept of moving it to a TV network, that's what's going to happen. So I decided, hey, let's go ahead and start doing these things. And it's been working great so far. We just finished up 2 feature films. We have 2 of them in the shoot right now. And soon within the next month, Infinite Plus Network will be nationally known because we have the funding behind it to make it nationally known. So it's all about living courageously, living outside that box, and applying what you feel inside to get it out.
Well, I'm going to take this moment to just share your acting reel, and then we'll talk more about, once again, all these things, like you said, you stepped outside the comfort zone. You stepped courageously to not just let other people, control your life, but to step into controlling your life yourself by creating a production company and doing all these projects. And that's a model for people, because I think a lot of times, like you say, people come to Hollywood and they're hoping that other people make it happen for them. And they're always trying to, hope that somebody helps them. And a lot of times that doesn't happen, as you know. That's so, right. Being able to step up yourself and find a way to make it happen. Just like you role modeled your mom, because she did the same thing when she stepped outside of her comfort zone. that motto, I think, is what people need to learn. That's how you get ahead, is by doing that. But let me play your I got a little bit of 4-minute reel here. I'd love to play it, just to share a little bit of the fun stuff that you've done. And I know some of it's probably early on, some of it's later. But
that's fine. That's fine. You gotta be proud of your work regardless.
Yeah, it's all good stuff, man. So all right, I'm gonna throw this up, and let's get this up, and here we go.
We calling you out here unless we got a good damn reason. And to tell the truth, it's gonna sound crazy. I mean, hell, we can't get our heads wrapped around it also.
Well, I'm all ears. What's this?
That's a 1313 file. You know, the one with the missing persons?
Sheriff, this case has been closed for years.
I don't understand that, but we need to do some more investigating.
The investigation literally went nowhere. There's no more victims to interview. So what makes you think?
There is one. And he's sitting right over there in the next room, next to us. Scared half to death. Our best men went to go check it out when they got that call. And they got their asses handed to them by something they couldn't even see.
One of you guys are going to tell me.
You better tell him what he wants to know. If you realize that we're low-level soldiers and we don't know anything. Suck my...
Do this. Wait, you're ready.
What, you scared?
I'm not scared. I got a ninja.
A ninja?
Yes, a ninja.
Like a real ninja.
Yes, a ninja.
Are you some kind of an idiot standing over there talking about a ninja?
I'm not an idiot. I'm a college graduate.
And I got a real ninja.
Where'd you come from?
Yeah, a ninja Phil.
What's up, my ninja?
Yeah, my fifth. Now I'm ready.
To me, you need to be straight up. No games. What's in that bag?
Give me that hot damn bag. Yeah, I want you.
So it is you. Man, your little sister could be killed today. Why are you in this so deep?
I need the money, man. I mean, I gotta take care of my own, and besides, it's none of your fucking business.
Just taking care of your own, cause of putting your family in danger, all the innocent people getting shot at. You know what? Hold it. I'm gonna take a damn step.
What?
Leverage, dear. The only way we can get your sister back is give Ivy what she wants. And this is the only proof that we have that you stole her money. Now, how much is in this bag? Don't lie. How much in the damn bag?
A mill.
A mil? Okay. All right, look, take a selfie.
Yeah.
Hey, fix your makeup.
Where's this?
Yeah, because this ain't no work. All right, here, you ready? All right, let's go.
Stephen, I'm not proud to say this. Really not. I am your father.
But how can you be my...
Baby powder, please. Give me my baby powder. Go on. A little bit more. You gonna come in here with that racial bullshit? What? A black guy can't father a white dude? Have you ever seen Star Wars?
You know I will. I miss you and I love you too. I promise I'll come back to you, Mom.
All right. That was. Hey.
Oh my God, I forgot about that one.
that was some funny comedic work there, man.
Darth Vader. Come on, man.
That was good. That was good, man. I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming. That was good.
Oh man,
Very cool, man. So, you've done tons of acting. You got a pretty extensive. Let me just throw this up. This is your IMDb. If people want to check you out as an actor, stunts, producer, you got a ton of stuff you've done in all different fields. We'll stay with the acting for a minute. Tell us about what kind of roles do you love? What kind of genre do you love? Or is it all of the above?
Well, the roles I do love. I'm drawn to action. I'm drawn to horror. I'm drawn to thriller type movies. It excites me to talk about those type of movies. The sense of putting yourself into another kind of dimension, and also a little secret. It won't be a secret anymore. That's how I deal with my PTSD on a bigger level. That's how I deal with my PTSD. When it deals with a horror movie, or if it deals with a movie where I'm playing this one movie we just finished up called Down for the Count, where I play a blood general who's in charge of all of these blood sucking vampires, and we're taking over the world, and the character, as I'm going through the character and saying my lines, that's a good way for me to get rid of the anger that I have inside, that I have with PTSD or a problem. So that's why I like those type of roles, because once I'm finished with it, I feel like I just went through a counseling session, and I have nothing left. I'm all depleted. Action, because I've always loved action movies, even from when I was younger. Watching old karate flicks to boxing, to any kind of mixed martial arts. So I like those type of flicks, because the simple fact is it just gets the adrenaline pumping. So that's the type of film I do love.
And besides your own company, I mean, you obviously go out and you audition for roles, and then you also do your own. So how long have you been doing the acting now? How long have you been doing this?
I started back in 2012, all the way up to this point. I've improved along the way. As I say, you start as a background artist. You try to perfect your style of acting, and just go from there. It feels good when you do audition and you do book a role. It doesn't matter for me. It doesn't matter if it's an independent film or it's a major Hollywood film. It's the fact that somebody seen what you're capable of doing and say, hey, that's the right fit for my film. So that person's the right fit for my film. I do like that part about it.
Now, is this a movie that you produced, or when you was in A Frantic Love? That's just a couple. A Frantic Love 2, A Frantic Love 3. Was this something you did, or you produced yourself, or was that just something you were casting?
No, it was one of my good friends, director Gary Tucker out of New Orleans, Louisiana. He has a 5-part series called the Frantic Love, where I play I play the villain in this series. Just the one of the fellows that kind of like your girl and you're treating her wrong, but I want to be with her, but I get obsessed with her and I feel that she's mine, so I kidnap her and do all this kind of crazy things to keep her away from you and try to kill you in the process. Things like that. That's all. Things like that. We have part 5 that we'll be finishing either the latter part of this year or next year. I do look forward to it, because that's a closeout. That's a closeout portion of it. But it was a wonderful series to do. It really was. And the city of New Orleans is beautiful. So.
And where does that air? Well, where do people watch that if they wanted to watch the series?
I'm about to say it's located on the Infinite Plus network. It's literally on my network.
Okay, here we go. The Infinite Plus network. That's where you. That's where you.
Yes.
And that is right here. Once again, there we go, and you can go check it out right there on his network. But let's take advantage of this to say, how did you create the Infinite Plus network? Why did you create it? Tell us what that looked like, and start that not only your own production company, but a network to be able to put your content. Share a little bit about that story with us.
Well, it came from again from before, trying to streamline the portion of becoming an actor, having a production company, and getting your work out not only just in your local area, but in nationwide and international. And I said, hey, I need to figure this out, so I don't have to wait on a network to say, hey, I'm good enough. So I started doing my research, and also the pandemic did help because the world stopped and people had to learn how to live again with different ways and different ideas. But one thing will never leave is entertainment, no matter what. Whether it's something you see in the past and the future, I said, wait, if I create my own streaming TV network, I can put movies and shows and TV series up there. And this is, this is, as I say, COVID proof. COVID can happen, but people going to do what? Watch television, watch shows. So that's a part of it. What how it happened. So I had to first search for a CDN. CDN is your your content provider who gives you your broadcasting for your network, and that's where you start from. And then after that, once you have that established, they help build your network. That they help you with your iPhone, Android applications, being able to be a part of Roku and these other channels. Then you had to reach out to content providers, independent film directors. That's why I tell you, independent producers, giving them a chance when other networks wouldn't give them a chance. And that's what created the content that I was having on my network. Until you get noticed, by other networks, and then they want to be involved in your network and want to bring it on to even a larger level. So I just kept at it. There's a lot of ups and downs. But guess what? Life is about ups and downs, and you can adapt and adjust. Then you can fall by the wayside. So I just kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing to where I'm at right now, where it's on the cusp of getting the investment that it needs to be worldwide.
Well, let me just throw up a couple other pictures, and you can kind of tell us a little bit about what this was about. This is one. Tell us a little bit about what this is. You're getting.
Okay. So that's ironic that you have that there, and this was not planned, folks. I just so happen to have the belt right here. I just so happen to have the belt right here, and
nice.
Of course,
it wasn't planned, not at all.
It was not planned. That's crazy. That's crazy. I did not know you were gonna do that. Well, what it came from is I'm a big, I was a big wrestling fan, and I just knew that hey, being a champion of wrestling is one thing. So that was my time in recruiting, and what I would love to do was not be put in a recruiting station that was doing well. I had a fascination with being put in a recruiting station that was not doing great. When I mean recruiting station, like an army recruiting station, right? As far as bringing the right people on board to serve our country. But I didn't want to be in an area where I guess say it was easy to do so because everybody's patriotic. I want to be put in an area where it was hard to do so. So that particular picture, the recruiting station that I went to was number 8 out of 10 recruiting stations in the area. And before they put me in the recruiting station, they were going to put me in the number 2 recruiting station. No, I want to go to one of the lower ones, if you don't mind. I want to go to some place where they have it hard. So they put me in the number 10th, the bottom one, and then from there I was a station commander. What a station commander is, he or she is the commander of those recruiters in that station. I changed the energy. I changed the aura. We went out in the community, did a whole lot more things the community ever done. We became a pillar of the community before we started recruiting for the Army. That was a problem. You got to be a part of the community because they can see, everybody knows you can see a salesman from a mile away, but you can see somebody who's truly about the community, going to elementary schools, middle schools, being a part of nonprofits, sweeping up trash, cutting grass, whatever we had to do. I made it a part of our recruiting station. And then people start wanting to join us, want to join the Army. Parents was, hey, make sure you go to see Big Sarge if you want to be treated the right way. And I won an award for putting the most people in the Army in 1 year in that photo. That's what the larger trophy is. And then the Olympic medallion around my neck. That medallion is hard to receive, but our whole entire recruiting station received that medallion, the Glenn Morrell Award. So it's very hard to receive as a recruiter, and to be a gold badge recruiter. So that was that year. I guess I was feeling myself because I got the championship belt. I'm the man, and people was upset because they wasn't number 1 anymore, and we came from the bottom to the top. It was one of those things, competition.
Well, yeah, 2 parts about that. One is clearly you like to, and I think that's a lesson and a message to people, in talking to you. But like you like to do the hard, not the easy. And I think that too many people want to do the easy, and that's when you don't really accomplish things, or you don't grow, or you don't get stronger, or you don't, make things happen. But by you stepping in that recruitment to say, I don't want the easy, I want the hard, and then turning that into an opportunity to make yourself successful and that recruitment successful. I think that's a model for people, in all over, young people in Hollywood, everywhere, being willing to, go to the hard, is how you get strong, is how you grow, and how you succeed.
It is true. And the thing about it is, I can never say I was that way all the time. Sometimes like, hey, this would be good to have this route. But hey, sometimes easy doesn't last. That's a problem. Easy doesn't last all the time. Most of the time. The hard route, if you go through the hard way of going through, when I say the hard way, is you're willing to go through the trials and that's the best way of saying it. You're willing to go through the trials and tribulations of your journey to reach your goal. And if you're willing to learn from it and not turn back from this, keep going and keep going and keep going, it will be accomplished. And that is why I see is the best route for anything that you do. It's long lasting. You know how to adapt to hard times and hard situations. You know how to keep it spiritually, mentally, physically in the right path, and you can't feel that way. I mean, that's just the way it is. And when you stop worrying about what everybody thinks about you and worry about how you feel about yourself with respect to others, then you'll be able to succeed more.
Well, I gotta ask this question because you got that belt around you, and you said you were into wrestling and loving wrestling. So, do you think maybe that there's a wrestling match between you and The Rock in the future?
I just gotta say this. I just like Jake Paul want to fight Mike Tyson. Okay, I just want to put it out there. There is no way on this God-given earth that I'm gonna try to step in the ring with The Rock. Now, as I say, if you get paid the right money, okay, I get in the ring and get bruised up. At least when I'm healing, I can be in that nice house when I'm healing. But no, there's no way possible. Now, listen, that would make me highly popular. Man, you got in the ring with The Rock. But did you see what he did to me? That's a question.
Well, so instead of being in the ring with The Rock for real, maybe just being in a movie where you're in the ring with The Rock. Now that could work, right?
Now that will work. As long as I'm not on the opposite end of his fury in the movie. Like I'm not the stunt double, the dummy that's gonna get tackled in the film. So no, I'm good. We can work beside each other. Well, like the movie Twins, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
All those your Danny DeVito. Yeah, if we could do one of those, yeah, I'm fine.
Now that would be a remake of Twins with you and him. I like it.
Exactly,
Man.
It would exactly be that way because that guy is that tall. So
yeah, I definitely like. That's a great idea. Hey, Robert, some of the stuff you also did, you're involved in veteran support stuff in the film industry. You belong to veteran organizations. Tell people a little bit about that. Like we met at one that was put on by Veterans in Media and Entertainment, VME. That's where we met at the Army and Navy game. Tell us a little bit about that involvement and that support in the entertainment industry for veterans and what they're doing and putting together.
Well, I think it's very important to give back. It's very important to take care of your own. I think that's highly important to not only take care of your own, to take care of others who might not be able to do something for themselves. Being a part of course, American Legion number 4, Hollywood American Legion number 43, downtown Hollywood, and also Dial 5 was the Disabled American Veteran 5. Is located here in California. They do a plethora of things for veterans, from mental health to physical aspects, and even with helping with as far as clothing and things like that. That's very important because everybody doesn't retire or become and live out the life the same way, or become a veteran and have their lives living the same way. Some might have a good path when they leave out, some might not, or they might fall on hard times. Falling on hard times can happen to anybody, but when you have your fellow veteran brother or sister in arms who have served their country, right? Whether people support you or not, they have served their country, right? And they have willing to give the ultimate sacrifice to protect this country, then take care of them. It's too easy. Take care of them. Don't discard them. Don't push them to the side. Don't make, hey, while you're in, you're great. When you're out, let's just forget about you. That's not right. Now that happened back to be honest with you, that happened back in the day, and us new new line of new breed of soldiers and sailors and air marine and Coast Guard and space agents. I forgot. I forgot Space Force. I forget. I don't know what they call them. I'm sorry. Space Force. I really not trying to make a joke, but I don't know what they call them. But taking care of others is what matters. We got to take care of our own, because if we don't, then who will? And again, it comes to the fact of don't wait for somebody else to take care of you. Hey, take care of your brother and sister. Somebody did that for me. Somebody, not somebody, organizations have done that for me that's in the military, have taken care of my family while I was in, helped me take care of my family while I was out, especially during the pandemic. Oh my God, thank you for the nonprofit organization that take care of veterans, because I was able to take care of my family during that time period. So yes, DAV 5 is who I'm part of, Disabled American Veteran 5 here in Los Angeles, California. And it's a great, amazing organization. Matter of fact, one of our films that we're doing now, it's called The Devil's Tab. We have a percentage of that film when that film gets made and it's in the theaters, and whatever percentage of the portion of the return on investment from it, we give a portion of that to DAV 5, because we want to make sure that we give them back to our own. So again, that's very important.
Yeah, I was the other night. I'm a member of American Legion Post 43 as a son of the Legion. So I was there the other night, and your disabled American veterans were there doing a comedy show, and there was a good friend, Tom Tran, was doing his comedy, and he is a blast, man. And so of course, Post 43 was doing their thing, and but like you said, and also, besides obviously veterans, supporting veterans, and that's what's cool about both those organizations, Veterans and Media Entertainment and DAV, but also civilians, who are in the industry, to find a way to also contribute and build that relationship between civilians and veterans and support them as well. Because, that's the thing. Some people serve in the military, not too many people, 1%, 2% of the population get to serve. But as civilians, we can help, like when people come back, and we can give them a hands up and be part of supporting, our brothers and sisters who did do that. So I think that's something too that everybody should consider and make it part of what they do in life. Because once again, back to what we said early on, it's about service. In whatever form it is, it's service in the military, service in the community, service to, to the people who need service. You can do it in so many ways, but service is one of the greatest things you can do.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We are here. We are here to be a service to people. That's what we're supposed to be here for, to look out for one another, to take care of our fellow man or woman, as they say. That's the problem. We're all we're humans in this world, and we're made uniquely amongst other animals and creatures. And apparently, we're made uniquely amongst them. And this fighting and bickering and all this craziness that goes on, I don't think that's how the plan was above. Well, that was a plan to be looked at, judged about what region you're from, or what race, religion, or color you're from. I don't think that was the plan. But it takes those few who looks past the hate, past the ignorance, past the shame, to understand that, hey, we're supposed to be we're supposed to love one another, take care of one another. That's why, to be honest with you, I don't want to go into the political side. That's why I hate political years, because then you see the nastiness and ugliness in people until the end of that year. So, but it's crazy. It's crazy how this happens.
Yeah, it is. It is. But like you said, there's a way, if we and this is so important, if we find a way to realize it's about respecting each other,
Yes.
Coming from a standpoint of listening to each other, learning from each other, if we come with that attitude, then no matter what differences, or, we come from different places, we all have different experiences, different political views, different religious views. But if we start with a place of respect for each other and listen to each other, we realize that we got something in common. So let's work together, and we can overcome the differences, in time. It doesn't mean you're going to adapt my belief, or I'm going to adapt your belief, but we can see what we have in common as opposed to what we don't have in common, and have that respect for each other. And that will take us a lot further than always finding the differences and getting into conflict.
And that's one of the things I do miss about my military service. That's one thing I really, truly miss, is the camaraderie amongst the soldiers from all race, creeds, and colors and religions from all across the planet. That's American citizens that are able to join our service, and we get together and from different walks of life to become one walk of life. That is one thing I was happy about. That's one thing I truly miss because before I joined the military, I seen the nastiness side of a lot of people being from that part of Tennessee, and unfortunately, that's the way it was in the 70s, 80s, and it's different aspects of it how it is now. But to be in service, to experience a wonderful side of being able to go across the world, across the country, meeting different people from different walks of life, different religions and cultures, and learning from them. And then when I retired from the military, you kind of get it's not as bad as it was 20, 30 years ago, but you still see the aspects still going on. People still bickering and fighting and doing crazy things. And then it might make you want to question your service. And sometimes like, why I'm serving and protecting and this is happening. But then at the same time, you're still protecting people's right of speech too. So it's like you have to remind yourself of these things. But in the end, it's all about camaraderie and getting along. If that was the case, I mean, myself and Mr. Duffy here, oh my God, like I would have missed out if I didn't get opportunity to get to know you better, and vice versa. So that is what I'm talking about. I love that part, getting to know people.
100%, man. And that I think that's one of the things I enjoy most in life is that I think, God's blessed me by putting all kinds of different people in my life from all over the place. And that, I say, I may not be rich in money, but I'm rich in friends. And, being able to have all those friends in my life with all very different things is a blessing. So I'm always grateful for that blessing. And meeting you was just another example. We were like, we just clicked, man. And we just, had a good time. And it was like, okay, what's his story, man? I want to know your story. And so, and from that moment,
the Army won that day too. I was happy about that.
I bet you were.
Happy the Army beat Navy that day. I was happy about that. So,
well, that's one of the things I see as a civilian hanging out with all y'all is just that, like you said, the camaraderie, but also the fun that each branch has messing with each other, right? So, because it's all like you're putting each other down, but it's not really. It's kind of like that's just part of the fun that you have because you all did serve, right?
It's pretty cool. It is, it's like being a Tennessee Volunteers fan, but you're on the Alabama side with a Tennessee Volunteer shirt on. It just don't match, right? So yeah, you're gonna have camaraderie for your team, for your home team. But I tell you one thing: those teams that make fun of each other, it's a hornet's nest if you mess with all of us. That's all I get. You messing with a hornet's nest when you mess with the United States Army, military in general. So yeah, we might mess with the Marines. Marines might mess with us, Navy and the Air Force, but when we together, we're unstoppable force. So,
and it's been an honor for me to hang out, at these different events and get to know everybody, and be able to be part of, with some great people doing some really cool stuff, man. So, I'm always grateful. Going, yeah, this is cool, very cool. So, hey, a couple other things. You're an entrepreneur, obviously. You built companies. Let me throw up a picture of you right here, the CEO. So besides, you always got that entrepreneurial drive to build your own business, to build your own. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's also something that is so important for people to learn how to be entrepreneurs, learn how to create their own small businesses or large businesses in every aspect of life. Tell us a little bit about that journey for you.
Well, my experience is what I would do want to say is first is I do not, when I talk about entrepreneurship, the one thing I would not do, I fell victim from that when I was getting into multi-level marketing, is never make fun or talk down on anybody that has a 9-to-5 job. Okay, because that job is paying the bills and take care of their family, and that's what they feel comfortable doing, and that's what they feel comfortable doing. And that's people who are meant to lead, and there's some who are wonderful leaders, but they're even greater followers, right? So with that being said, I still wanted to control the narrative, because again, you're working for somebody else for them to be well off, and you will be always in a certain bracket because that's what they have allocated for you. When you can create your own, and you can be your own boss, as I say, your own CEO, and the entrepreneurship is the way to go. Entrepreneurship is booming. It is you taking a chance on yourself. Once again, is you living outside your comfort zone. Yes, you can have a 9-to-5 job to fund your idea or your business. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to dedicate some time for yourself to build your own. So when they say this company, they're actually talking about you. So you work for this company? Yes, you work for this company, but the company can let you go at any time they want to. I've seen it before. We know this. There's been companies that people work for 19 years or the 19 or 29 years, and right when they come to retirement, they might get let go. Or they might cut them off, So you want to be able to control that narrative by creating your own. And everything, and it said in a good book that in your mind, if you have a great gift that's been given to you, what's in your mind that you never share with the world, you're actually being selfish. So you got to bring what's in your mind to the forefront, because somebody might be able to benefit from that. Not only yourself, but others might benefit from that. For instance, this network that I created, the streaming network I created, it's not just to benefit me or my family. I can make this for other people who wants to have their content to be put on a national level or international level, so they can earn income that way. That's what I'm providing. I'm building it, and I have people who believed in my vision and allowed me to have their content on my network, right? So I can have somebody else, or just say an investor, to see, hey, wow, do people believe in what you're doing? I do too, and that's what's happening right now. I see what the people believe in what you're doing. I do too. Let us invest in what you're doing to bring on a bigger scale. Now I'm able to bless multitudes of families. Probably not even meeting hardly a fourth of them. And it's all about controlling the narrative. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It feels good to have something that you created, being the founder. Even this show right here, you created this show. The first time you created the show, like, let's see how this works out. Let's see how this goes. Like the first 5 episodes, right? Maybe first 8 episodes. This episode 71. So that shows the drive that you have, Mr. Duffy. That shows the drive that you have. Look, I'm still going. I perfected. I guarantee you're a whole lot better than you were when your very first show than when you are now. Because the simple fact is having that drive of entrepreneurship. This is entrepreneurship. We're on the stage right now. We're entrepreneur. We're seeing what you had created, and I'm a part of it, and I'm happy about that. So that's what it's all about. Freeing yourself of being controlled and doing your own thing is where it's at. That's where we're leading to in the 2024 and above. That's where you have to be. You have to do that. When a job loss happens, if you created your business, then you better control the narrative of how to control those losses. How to control the loss instead of you being the loss. I know we're doing some layoffs, and we're laying off 10,000 people here, 20,000 people there. That can happen. So I know I'm long-winded, but I'm very passionate about that part. I've seen it happen. It happened to my father once. One of his businesses, once he retired from the Marines, he put a lot of work into that business, dedicated everything to that business, and then that business decided right when it's close from the retirement to let him go. So I never forgot that. I never forgot the impact that had on my family and the impact that had on him when that happened. So I vouched for myself. I would never let that happen to me. So again, that's where they came from. That's where it originally came from.
Well, I think all that, that you summed up is a great message to people, because it's that sense of being self-reliant, and you can't depend on other people. I mean, because, there's times like, once again, they'll let you go. If you don't have that opportunity to be able to take care of yourself and your family, then you're dependent. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. Mm-hmm. So, being able to get that sense of, and it's not easy. And once again, it's a different kind of hard, but those are the hards you want to do, because it takes you to a better place. And, and we're all given gifts, like you said, with me, I mean, during COVID, I wanted to put out a message of courage instead of fear, because I saw so many people living in fear and being afraid of life, and they were like retreating from life because of the fear. And I went, no, we need to be courageous. You don't retreat in the face of danger. You may acknowledge the danger, but you got to move forward. You got to have that courage. Right. Don't go into fear, because fear just is a warning. But if you live in fear, you basically destroyed your life. So, that was why I did it. And that's why it's grown. Big Sarge, tell me, what's next for you? Where final thoughts? What would you like to share? I mean, you've shared so much, so many messages, so much information, so much of your passion, your drive, and all that with the audience. What's next? and how to, obviously we know how people can contact you. I've been putting up the links for people to be able to reach out to you. Share, close it out for us and tell us what you'd like to say and finishing up the show.
Well, the things that is coming up next, as far as acting concerned, I do have 3 projects that's in the works right now. We have The Devil's Tab, which is in pre-development. We're still working on getting investors for that film. It's a SAG feature film. Very, very, very enthusiastic about the seven deadly sins, and we have a young man who's going through all the process of it to try to save himself and his friends. Then we have Blood on the Leaves, which is the action thriller film. It's about human organ trafficking. That one is still in a pre-development stage. We're working on it right now. And we have Down for the Count, which we finished in production and started going to film festivals. That's what we're doing as far as production side. As far as acting, just recently, because I signed an NDA, I got to be careful. Just recently, I landed a role in a major TV series on Starz channel. I'll be traveling to New York for the next 2 months to do my to do my role, as I say, and I look forward to doing that. It's a show that I've been wanting to get on for the longest. It's crazy that now I have a part. Like, again, you never quit. I basically kept getting on my casting director nerves. I need to audition. I need to audition. I need to audition. I said, this is a show I want to be on, So I finally got the audition, and I auditioned for it, and I landed the role. The role that I auditioned for went to somebody else and said, hey, listen, I think he's better at this role. We want him in the film, in the show, but on this role. So I took it. So I'll be traveling next month there. I'm very excited about that. Very energetic about that. And then the Infinite Plus Network will be within the next few weeks. We expand its reach nationwide. And I just can't wait for it to happen. Watch out Netflix, watch out Amazon Fire, and watch out all of it. Watch out Prime, Hulu, rest of them. Watch out. We're coming for you. We are coming for you.
Well, brother, thank you so much for being on the show, man. I'm, thank you for all that you're doing. I look, congratulations with the show in New York and all the other stuff that your network is putting out there. I look forward to working with you in the future. Hopefully we'll get a chance to work together on something, which would be great.
I already got the show for you. I got to talk to you about it, but yes, I'm glad you said that. Y'all heard him. He said that. I already got the show. It's called Blood on the Leaves. I already know. I got the character for you.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Once again, man, thank you, brother. Really appreciate everything. I love your spirit, love your energy, love all the positivity you put out in the world on every level, man. So once again, thank you so much for being on the show and doing what you do, man.
Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to be on your show. I feel amazing. I wish I was number 70 or number 100, but that's all right. 71, I'll take it.
Hey, you're just gonna have to come back and do that other one, man. We're gonna have to, there we go.
I gotta work hard to be your 100th show. I gotta work hard to be your 100th show.
Well, maybe the two of us will be, at that time we'll be working together. And yes. That'll be the 100th show, right?
That's what I'm talking about. See, thank you for giving me a goal, sir. John, I'm about to get on that right now.
Love it, brother. All right, I'm gonna close out the show. Thank you. Hang in there as I close out. And once again, thank you so much for being part of this.
All right, thank you.
All right. So I hope today's show with my guest, Robert Big Sarge, motivated and inspired you, and there's so many life lessons from it. So if you haven't watched it, watch it, and hopefully you learn the lessons that I take away. So many great things. And if you haven't seen the previous 70 podcasts with some of my amazing, courageous friends sharing their stories, go to YouTube channel Live Courageously, subscribe, and watch it. And we got a couple interesting things coming up in the future. So hang in there. Join me. I'm going to be starting a Live Courageously site that's going to have some amazing content on there. So I'll be sharing that on April 15th. We're going to go live. And then join me next week with my guest, Ted Shred, an animal trainer, fire eater, stunt man, and just about everything else, and a great friend and brother of mine. So join us then. And until we get back together next Sunday, may you make your life a masterpiece, and God bless.